Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Didgeridoo. Did you miss me? Yes, I missed you too. But I'm back now for what is, sadly, the very last of these boss videos. There's no big fancy intro this time, and I won't bore you with the details as to why. Suffice it to say that recording from a PSP introduced some technical difficulties. And you're all probably sick of seeing that thing by now anyway. Let's just get right into it.
It's attacking! Everyone, get ready!
Now, you can probably tell just by looking at the video length, but this is going to take some time. There's no way around it. Hades just has far too many hit points for this to go nearly as quickly as any boss fight we've had before.
Don't let your guard down!
Yes, see what I mean? It's going to be a while before we can even see how many hit points he has, let alone reduce them to 0. And as if that weren't bad enough, he also regenerates. Not a whole lot, I grant you, but it's still annoying. Now, of course, we're going to get nailed with this breakout right away here, and then you'll see why I had to bring that book with me.
Eternal darkness shall take you. Curse of chaos! Fall into darkness!
Okay, I hope you all enjoyed watching that, because let me tell you, he ain't going to be doing anything else. And yes, I'm going to have to do the unthinkable here and use a healing item. I'm sorry, I know I'm disappointing a lot of you with this, but there's just no way to survive this battle without some means of recovering your health. And this is pretty much all he is going to be doing, unfortunately. Now, that isn't to say that Hades doesn't have other attacks. He can breathe poison on you, he can raise his strength and magic, but there's almost no chance of ever seeing him do that, because he's just so slow. He'll always end up filling the rage bar before it's his turn to move. Unless you're just sitting there and not attacking him, of course, which would be stupid. You have to inflict damage if you want to win, that's how these things work. Now, would you like to see an overskill in glorious PSP slightly enhanced graphics? Of course you would. Here you go.
Here's my trap card! Serene illusion!
Nothing hurt me. Nothing hurt me. Nothing hurt me.
Yeah!
Nothing hurt me.
And from here it's just rinse and repeat, really. He'll use his breakout again in a bit, Fia will heal everyone, I'll have Serene use her overskill again, and we'll just go back and forth like that until we're ready to finish him with Arresta. Isn't that exciting?
Eternal darkness shall take you. Curse of chaos!
So again, this is a battle that isn't difficult to win, but it is difficult to S-rank. I mean, realistically speaking, as long as you make sure to heal yourself each turn, you're not going to lose. But if you really want to ace it, you have to pick your characters and your items carefully. He's equally vulnerable to everything except physical damage, so elements aren't too much of a problem. Basically, the important thing is that you're hitting him with an overskill as often as possible. But you also have to make sure you've got a steady damage output going even when you aren't using an overskill. The first time I tried this, it was with Lena and Fia, and Lena was still doing plenty of damage with her Stardust attack, but the problem was that the normal bow attacks only inflict a single hit, and if you want to build your overdrive gauge up quickly, you want to be using multi-hit attacks. So, the Rosier I think is your best choice here, because it inflicts 3 hits and does a nice big chunk of damage. Now there are other weapons that do that, like the Late Claw for example, but the problem, well, Serena and Lena are the only ones who can use claws, so I won't be contributing at all there. The Rosier is just a weapon that everyone can use well, except for Lena, which is why she's not here. Now, you could probably, I haven't actually tried it, but if you replaced Serene with Sierra and the Infinite Arc with the Southern Cross, that would probably work too. The reason I was wary of doing that is that Sierra, as you know, is very slow, And while her attacks are stronger than Serene's, I'm not entirely sure that she'd be attacking quickly enough to keep the overdrive gauge up and maintain the same damage output. Plus, you know, it's the last of the videos, we can't leave Serene out of it, can we? No, of course we can't. Come on. What's wrong with you? Should be shot for suggesting such a thing.
Eternal darkness shall take you. Curse of chaos!
Of course, one thing I should mention is that this is all purely a matter of pride. As far as I know, there's no actual reward for S-ranking Hades. It's just whether you beat him or not that counts. So really all I'm doing here is instructing you on how to accomplish something that is totally and utterly inconsequential. Ah, my life. I suppose they did it for every other battle, why stop now?
Here's my shot card. Serene illusion.
Nothing hurt me. Nothing hurt me. Nothing hurt me. Nothing hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point I'd just like to offer a little piece of advice to game developers. If you're making sound bites for when an enemy gets hit, just stick to grunts. Please don't use speech. It's alright once or twice, but once things start to drag on and you've heard the words, "That won't hurt me," about a bajillion times, it starts getting a little bit tiresome and a little bit stupid. Especially when it starts overlapping, so you end up with, "That won't hurt, that won't hurt, that won't hurt me." Just shut up, Hades. We can see that it's hurting you. The numbers don't lie. I'm not fooling anyone. Oh, yeah, you know what else? I was going to talk about this earlier, but it slipped my mind. This guy is just a purple version of that zombie dragon boss we fought back in Moreno Cemetery. That's the best we're getting, is it, Sting? The Lord of the Underworld is a palette swap. I'll tell you what, guys, you may be good at some things, but designing satisfying final bosses is not one of them. First we had Sethra, and now this cop-out. I mean, at least on the PSP you get a dungeon to explore. And you get to use Lada again, which, for all my grievances with it, is kind of fun once you get the hang of it. In the Game Boy Advance version, this was it. You walked in, you fought this dude, and then it was over. I mean, at least give us something new to look at. Well, I am dangerously close to running out of things to talk about, which means that this video is dangerously close to becoming another minigame madness. But at least we can see his hit points now, so it shouldn't take that much longer.
Serene illusion.
I am sorry that this is so drawn out, folks. I would have sped the video up a bit, but that would have ruined the sound, of course, and, well, I feel like you ought to have at least one fully authentic PSP experience before we finally put this LP to rest. You know, insofar as me rambling over the game can be considered an authentic experience. Oh, who am I kidding? None of this has been an authentic experience. I made about 50% of this crap up, as you all know full well. Tell you what, you want an authentic experience? Go and play the game. It's going for 15 quid on eBay right now. I'm not here to show you the truth, I'm here to fill your heads with entertaining lies. If you are getting tired of watching this though, imagine how tired I am of doing it. I had to try this battle maybe 3 or 4 times before I worked out the best way to S-rank it, and then I had to do it 3 more times before I managed to get a successful recording. And that is to say nothing of how much time I've spent playing this chapter as a whole. Under other circumstances I may well have ditched this idea altogether, but goddammit, I don't care who you are, when a man sends you a free PSP, you don't leave him hanging. Speaking of which, thanks again to 8 Flying Cars for this. You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. By the way, it's probably fairly obvious, but fighting this battle with Lada takes even longer than this. I'm not even sure it's possible to get an S rank, in all honesty. It isn't that Lada performs badly, it's just that you're stuck using 2 characters instead of 3. So, Ayn has to keep stopping to heal himself, and you're not building up your overdrive gauges fast. And of course Divine Ascension does physical damage, which Hades is resistant to, so you have to use suboptimal weapons. It just doesn't work well, trust me. I don't know why they couldn't just combine both options together and let you have both Lada and the sprites. That would have been fun, just to see how he interacted with everyone. Alright folks, I think it's about time for our man Ayn to bring the pain. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen, to see Disaresta as it was meant to be seen? If not, too bad, because here it is.
Sacred Blade of Judgment, become my wings! This is the will of the gods! Disaresta!
That will hurt me. That will hurt me. That will hurt me.
I guess it's our fate to pass judgment on demons. This is the duty of the Grim Angels.
And that, as they say, is that. Well, aside from the remainder of the screenshot update, that about wraps it up for this LP. All that remains now is to get it safely nestled into the archives so that future generations may gaze upon it and say, wow, can you believe what used to pass for entertainment back then? Now, I have already said this, but it does bear repeating. A big thanks to everyone for watching, for reading, for participating, for voting, and just for making this whole experience worthwhile. I enjoyed working on it, but it just wouldn't have been the same if other people weren't enjoying it too. You've all been great, and I sincerely hope to see you all again in my next LP, whatever it may be. Thank you very much, and good night.